Okay guys, welcome in. We are gonna watch a very cool game that opposes two very strong players, CSO and Elyona. They are very strong at the moment on AOE4, and we are on the qualifications of the tournament, the EGC Masters Winters. This is a very cool tournament. They organize very cool tournaments, EGC of course. You may know them. If you don't know them, go and watch them on YouTube, on Twitch. This will be in the description. And yeah, this is very cool to see those tournaments. This is the qualifications, as I said before, and yeah, they try to qualify for the main event. This is very cool. Elyona, French player, he is playing the Delhi Sultanate in the color blue, and the CSO, I thought I knew. Well, I have to watch it. I don't want to say shit about the nationality of the player. He is, yeah, I thought he was a Chinese player. He is a Chinese player. He's playing the French in the color orange. This is a very interesting one. We are on a Himayama. Oh, this is a very small lake, I feel like. And yeah, this is the EGC map. This is not the Himayama from the ranked mode. This is an EGC map that is, I think, more stable. And also, like, you have a smaller lake. You have also the resources that are more, I don't know how to say it, like, well disposed on the map. So this is cool. Okay, so pretty interesting matchup. The French is very cool at the moment because you can put a lot of pressure on your opponent. I will disappear also for the cast. This will be better. And yeah, you can put a lot of pressure on your opponent. You can do the pro scout. This is very interesting with this civilization. This is a pro scout meta actually, currently, sorry, because, well, you can have all the resources on the map under your TC, while your villagers are protected, and also because the deers are very interesting, because they can gather so much resources very fast, and especially with those changes with the technologies, where horticulture gives 10%, not 15% anymore, and while survival techniques gives 15%. So we have a lot of civilizations that wants to do the pro scouts, especially if they have a little bit of map control, and it's the case for Delhi and French. And I feel like we will see a matchup where both of the players are going to put to make the professional scouts. Maybe I'm wrong, but we will see very soon. Okay, so we have here the School of Cavalry for the French player that allows him to have a stable, and also to do faster his units from the stable. Their stables produces 20% faster, and also we have the Dome of the Faith for the Elyona that allows him to have a lot of scholars, and the scholars are very important for Delhi, especially if you want to go on age up, because if you want to do the H3, the H4, you have a lot of technologies to have, and they are for free, but they cost a lot of time. And if you have a lot of scholars, then the technologies will come faster. And this is very interesting because the Dome of the Faith allows you to have scholars for 65 gold instead of 130. So this is half the price. This is very interesting, especially because the Delhi are more played on H3 and H4 right now because of the elephants that are very strong. So you can have all your technologies for free very fast and have very good units, and have also your eco upgrades, your other units that are pretty good. So yeah, this is a very interesting thing also with the Delhi to have the pro scouts, but this is not the choice of Elyona right now. He's not making the pro scout. He will do a stable and put the pressure on his opponent while his opponent is doing the pro scouts. Okay, so we will have one player that is trying to take all the deers of the map, putting them under the TC, and one other that is trying to, well, to avoid that, of course. What you can do with the Delhi that is very interesting is to do two mills. You have one that is making the pro scouts and the other one that is making the two others technologies that are very interesting to have more income of food. And so you can have both of them. Of course, you will have a timing that is not as cool as the French one, but you will have it for free, and you can do a lot of scouts very early on, because, well, you can have the scholar inside the stable and you can protect them with the Ghazi raiders. I think that this matchup is a little bit favored to the French right now because of the pro scouts. And so if the French has a lot of resources, this is kind of difficult for the Delhi to counter it. So we will see what happens. But here, as the pro scouts is already made for the French and that he's gathering so much deers right now, I feel like what I'm saying is kind of accurate, right? But what Elyona is doing is very interesting. He's using his Ghazi raiders not to fight against the knight, but to find and to catch those scouts that are taking all the deers on the map. So this is very, very interesting what is doing Elyona. I really like it. This is important to do not try to fight against the knight, but to try and kill those scouts, especially because the French player is not making that much knights. He's making a lot of scouts in order to have all those deers. And what is very interesting too is to kill all the deers with your units. Why? Because when you are making pro scouts, you can just right click and use your shift keyboard on your keyboard, and then you can gather all the deers at once without having the vision. If here you kill all the deers, you can see that you cannot shift click all the deers, and it's more difficult for your opponent to take all the deers on the map. So this is quite interesting from Elyona to kill all the deers of his opponent. Very good job here from stopping his opponent taking this deer, trying to kill the scouts. And what is cool with the Delhi is that the Ghazi raiders are very fast, and then they can run after those scouts. They can run from the knights also. This is very, very cool. Okay, so I'm looking forward what Elyona will do in this game, but I feel like this is not that good. It's okay because he has a lot of Ghazi raiders, but no, the French knights are very, very strong. Why? Because, yeah, of course, yeah, here this is not a very good fight for CSO, but actually it is. Why? Because of this technology, the chivalry. He can have +1 health every 1 second out of combat. So if he takes fight like this, yeah, he loses a lot of health on his knights, but he can regenerate it. While Elyona, yeah, he can, but he has to use all his scholars. And the more CSO has knights, the more it will be difficult for Elyona to take fights. He has to do, I think he has to do a barracks, and yeah, to do a lot of spearmen to counter all this. It could be interesting, but the problem with that is that he will do and Ghazi raiders and also spearmen, and it costs a lot of food. And if it costs a lot of food, then where is he gonna take all this food, right? So this is kind of difficult because he doesn't have pro scout. He will have it very soon, and maybe it could be interesting also to do a little bit of those scouts to gather all the deers. A lot of deers here for CSO, but I feel like Elyona did a pretty good job at stopping his opponent from taking all those deers. This is very, very cool because not that much deers have been taken by CSO. Full cavalry here from both players. This is quite cool to see that. But I feel like the more you have cavalry, the less it is interesting for the Delhi. As I said before, the knights are stronger and they can heal out of combat, like without having a scholar or anything, so this is quite cool. But on the other hand, if the Delhi goes h3, what is very interesting is if there is only knights from the French player, then the elephants from the melee, those elephants, the war elephants, are very, very strong. So maybe it's the plan of Elyona, we will see. But the problem here is that Elyona cannot really take the fight against the knights, and so CSO takes the control of the map. If he takes the control of the map, he can take all the deers and then he can have more army, etc. And it can be very difficult for Elyona to recover from this. Now there is the barrack, there is those spearmen, as I said before. It can be very cool to have them. What is very cool here with Elyona is that he can surround his enemy, block him, but like it's 8 knights versus 14 Ghazi raiders. Of course the knights will destroy the Ghazi raiders. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of difficult for Delhi, especially that now we have a lot of deers for a CSO. Yeah, and I wonder why Elyona didn't make Pro Scout. Well, he did it, but he's not taking the deers. So what is Elyona doing with those villagers? What is he doing? He's searching for food with these villagers? What? Okay, a lot of knights here. Yeah, this is not cool for Elyona. Well, I feel like you cannot do a lot of stuff against this Pro Scout, except making yourself a Pro Scout. If you don't do Pro Scout against Pro Scout, I feel like you're losing. That's the main issue of this meta. It is interesting, but it's a little bit too strong and there's no counter to it, except making it yourself, so there is no counter to it. And some civilizations are stronger with it, so this is quite unfair, because those civilizations are very advantaged for that reason. And in a lot of matchups, of course. But I feel like Delhi is okay for making Pro Scouts. Just Elyona didn't use it. He could have took all those deers and maybe those ones too. Maybe he didn't sow them. He didn't sow them. Yeah, he saw them. That's CSO that didn't sow them. So, yeah. Okay. Now we have a lot of spearmen and we only have knights for CSO. So this is a pretty good spot for Elyona right now. The main issue is just that CSO has a lot of food right now and that Elyona doesn't. So he has to do a lot of farms, which is very, very difficult for Delhi. If you do a lot of farms, then the farm transition for Delhi kind of sucks, right? Because it costs a lot, as any civilization. Well, not all, but most of the civilization. And the main issue is that you have no bonus on it. You have a lot of bonuses on berries. You have bonuses also on deers. You don't have bonuses, but this is a quite good income on a basis. So this is okay. While on the farms, this is pretty low. You don't have very good income and it costs you 75 wood per farm. So this is quite difficult and he can't take the control of the map right now, Elyona. That's why 2 scouts with that took all those deers would have been interesting in order to avoid those farms and to have more food income, to go H3, have those elephants, and if you have those elephants, then the opponent cannot do anything. Also, what could be interesting for Elyona is to take, I don't know, like 5 light cavalry, go on the map, destroy a little bit of villagers, but CSO is kind of careful about that. He's putting outposts everywhere. He's protecting everything that he take on the map. And this is a pretty good stuff to do while you are ahead with the French, because most of the players just take the boar and just don't protect it. But here with those walls, nothing can kill those villagers. Here with this outpost, it's the same. So it's kind of difficult to counter a French that is very careful like that. And most of the time, I would say, if a French attack you, then what you can do is just, well, attack him back. But if he's careful like this is impossible, right? So I feel like CSO is playing very, very well this game. And Elyona cannot do that much against that. especially because CSO now is H3. He has the veteran on his knights right now. He can also have this royal blood knights that allows him to have 35% of health of more on his knights, and he is full knights. So this is very interesting technology. And yeah, what can do Elyona about it? Not so much, because he cannot go H3, so he cannot counter that. Quite difficult situation here. I really like this wall to protect those deers from his opponent. But the fight here seems very good for CSO. Puts a lot of pressure. Idle time also. He killed 6 villagers to his opponent. Yeah, CSO is very, very well in this game. He's very ahead and very difficult. I think that before the Pro Scout meta, this was a 50-50 for this matchup. The French, the Delhi. If the Delhi had the control of the food, it was okay for him. But now, it's impossible for the Delhi to have the control of the food because, well, there is a Pro Scout. So I feel like it's the French are very advantaged on this matchup. And yeah, these are veteran knights, so this is normal that they destroy everything, even if there are a lot of spearmen inside this army. Very interesting game, but I feel like it's the Pro Scout meta. And so, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I think that it advantages too much some civilizations. Don't hesitate to tell me what you think in the comments. It can be interesting to debate on this. But yeah, I really think that this game was impossible to play for Elyona. Very difficult because of this, mainly. Okay, don't hesitate to go and watch EGC. Of course, they are the reason why we are watching those videos, those extremely intense games, those very interesting ones. Don't hesitate to go and watch them on YouTube, on Twitch, because they are organizing so very much. No, they are organizing very good content, very good events, tournaments, etc. And yeah, don't hesitate to subscribe if you liked it. We will see each other for the next one, because it is a BO3, so the next one will arrive very soon.